I think my girlfriend's obsessed with Wimbledon. Yesterday I asked her how old she was. She said, 40, love! It's the Comedy Cabin. It's episode 15. Guess where I am? You guessed it, the Comedy Cabin. It's time to let's record on the play on the VT thing, so all the credit things show up. Roll the titles. Make me leave, make me leave, make me a mess of bell. Let me leave, let me leave, let me this one me. Let me see, let me see, let me let me let me leave, let me leave, let me hold these on me. Ah, 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 ah. Sail away, sail away, sail away. Sail away, sail away, sail away. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Comedy Cabin. Hope you're doing well. I gotta be honest, it feels amazing to be back in the Comedy Cabin. I pressed record. I was about to press record and it started pissing down and I was like, yes, I love see when it starts to piss down, it's give out torrential rain and thunderstorms here where I am in the Comedy Cabin outside my house, and I just finger myself to death at the thought of it. I absolutely love pissy weather. I love it. I don't know if I love it because it's an opportunity to do nothing and you can be like, okay, sweetheart, just leaving for work. And then it starts to rain, you're all, damn it, I can't go to work now. I have to stay home and watch Netflix with you. That's what I have to do. That's how I talk when I'm at home. That's the only way I talk. My wife's like, you need to stop doing that. Like, she questions if it's borderline racist and I'm like, just leave me to it. There's nothing I can do. Let me talk like this. That's how I talk at home. You stop me from expressing myself how I want to express myself. It's almost like say hello to my little friend, isn't it? Very close. That's what do you call him? Scarface. That's what Scarface says when he unzips his trousers in the bedroom. Say hello to my little friend. And then he goes just spunks on everything. Say hello to my little friend. Usually at the start of the episodes, or what I have been doing on the reg is doing one for me and one for my homie who has passed away, but no celebrities have passed away this week. Praise the Lord. Oh, thank Jesus Christ. I lit a wee candle there after my last podcast. Says, oh, Jesus Christ, Lord, please don't let anyone die between last week and this week. Even though it wouldn't have made sense, because, I mean, this week and next week. And as he does every single time our Lord came through for us, boys and girls, he did. Sure, we're all sitting here, not a crater's gone. Birth rate's higher than the death rate. Sure wouldn't have it any other way. God help us all. You fully heard that going down my throat there, didn't you? Fucking ear died. Yeah, it's the Comedy Cabin. It feels great being here. Fingers crossed it absolutely fucks it down before the end of this episode. That'd be amazing. I'd love that. We started the episode today with a little Wimbledon joke. Are you watching Wimbledon, are you? Are you watching? I'm waiting on you to answer me. I'm like talking to you through your TV screen or through your podcast. Are you watching Wimbledon? Yes or no? What about your little the British girl? Fuck, she's doing well, isn't it? What do you call her? I'm gonna Google her now. This is where I get jailed because what is she? Well, she's 18, isn't she? But Wimbledon. She's centre court today as well, which is amazing. Craigavon Court. Craigavon Crown Court, mate. Women's singles. There we go. Tell you what, I am looking forward to the men's semis. Oh God, would you quit? Wee Willie joke there. Nothing but phallus talk here. Nothing but phallus talk. Raducanu, that's what you call her. Raducanu. Fuck, she's brilliant, isn't she? It's good to see. I was watching Andy Murray. I think he got put out, didn't he? Let me go into the men's singles. I think he got put out the other day, but he... round of 16. I watched one of his, and he got beat 6-4, 6-2, 6-2 by Shapovalov. Pavlova. We'll just call him Pavlova. That's also borderline like sort of racism, isn't it? When somebody gets a name and you're all, what's your name? And my name's Ali Habdu Al Farak, and you're all, we'll call you Kevin, mate. Fuck your mouth up. Your name's Kevin, all right? Anyone asks, your name's Kevin. Prize money for Wimbledon, 34 million. Holy shit. You get 34 million for winning Wimbledon? Andy Peters is running that, isn't he? Hi guys, welcome to the Stonehenge today. Reporting for Good Morning Britain. Phone up now, make you fucking... You can win 34 million. You just have to be great at Wimbledon. Great at Wimbledon, great at tennis. That's unbelievable. I just realised that. 34 million. That's crazy. But I was watching Andy Murray, and I'm not going to lie to you, he's an angry wee man, isn't he? Oh, geez, the anger's hanging out of him. Every shot, everything. He's like, rah! Like full veins coming through his throat. Like fucking Derji Rashid. Rah! Without the glasses, obviously. Fucking about to turn into the Incredible Hulk. I'd love, see when Andy Murray's playing tennis, I would love to just see him get really, really agitated and somebody just walk up to him really slowly on centre court, and he shits himself. He thinks he's going to get stabbed to death, and somebody just whispers in his ear, Andy, mate, it's only tennis. Alright? See when you're getting all like worked up and all, see when you're, rah! I'm just trying to take me fucking shot. That's not how he speaks in any shape or form. It's just, I don't know how to do it. He almost does like a, would you say almost like a soft kind of Edinburgh accent? Something like that almost. Yeah, we played really well today. That's almost borderline Glasgow as well, how I went there. Lassie, but I feel like we played kind of well today. Something like that, isn't it? Almost like a soft kind of Scottish accent. Almost like Mrs. Doubtfire. Eva Janaya Doubtfire, isn't it? Almost like that. I just want to dress up like a transvestite and look after my children. Is there anything wrong with that? There's not indeed. I want full Ballymena there. There's a thin line. I don't know when to do my own voice here. There's a thin line between the Ballymena accent and the Scottish accent, isn't there? My wife, Diona, she's from Derry. One time she said to me, I think she texted me, and I says, are you putting dinner on? Because I'm a chauvinistic pig. I says, you putting dinner on? She says, I can't. I'm holding the baby. And I was all, that's the first time and the last time you ever used that word with me. If you use that word again, you will be seeking a divorce. I can't. I fucking hate that word, canny. Do you know what other word I hate as well? Wains. Hate that word, Wains. Wains. I was up in Derry 10 years ago. I rented a DVD called Wayne's World. Turns out it was just a land full of children. There's a wee joke for you there, threw in. Free of charge. Put your money away. Put your money away. I read an article recently about Peter Kay. Apparently he lives in Tipperary at the minute. Isn't that crazy? Didn't know that. Something happened with Peter Kay, didn't it? Something happened. It was obviously something to do with, I think, one of his kids or one of his close family members. But you can't knock the guy. What a talent. He was born to be a stand-up comedian. He, if I'm not mistaken, is he the biggest comedian in the history of planet Earth in terms of ticket sales? Didn't he sell like 20 or 30 nights in a row at the Manchester Arena? think he did. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, but yeah, I think I started talking about the weather and being in the comedy cabin again, and then I just fucking spiraled. And the next thing, I'm whispering in Andy Murray's ear, doing an impression of Scarface, and talking about where Peter Kay lives at the minute. But it's great to be back in the comedy cabin. What I should do is maybe don't hold me to this, right? But what I might do is take a little video of the comedy cabin when I'm done here and post it somewhere, like maybe at the end of the episode, and just show you it at the minute, because here's what we done, right? This is what we did. This is what we've been up to over the past few weeks. I didn't want to say because there are a few kind of dodgy characters out there, but now that everything is gone, I feel like I can talk about it no problem, right? So we bought ourselves a mobile home about a month ago now, and we got the site fees, the everything. It was like a permanent place in this caravan park, and we went down 4 times in total. And our newbie daughter Winter, who turned what? Oh, she was 1 month old yesterday. That's amazing. I don't know if we talked about that yesterday, me and Diona, but yeah, she's 3 months old. Did I say 1 month old? She turned officially 3 months old yesterday. This is again these you could, without doubt, if anyone could be even bothered, could go through all my older episodes and just take snippets of all the times I talked shit. I remember one week I talked about Alisson, the Liverpool goalkeeper, coming up and scoring the header. But I was all, so he came up for the penalty and then he crossed it in and he scored. And I was like, I listened to it back and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, sleep deprivation turns you into a fucking idiot. And that's fully what I am now most of the week, because I just have such a lack of sleep. Isn't it mad how you spend your early years, like to your maybe 1 or 2, and you like go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning? Or sorry, you go to, again, there we go. You go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. No, you don't. You go to bed at 6 o'clock at night and you're like, you're just out cold. That's more or less you for the rest of the night. And then when you're like a toddler to preteen, you're forced to go to bed. You're like, I don't want to go to bed. Can I stay up later, please? Please, let me watch the end of Coronation Street, please. Don't even like it. Couldn't name a single character, apart from Dirty Rashid from 30 years ago. Coffee got cold very quickly. Yeah, I was talking about sleep, wasn't I? So you get like toddler to preteen, and you're like, no, I don't want to go to sleep. Please don't make me go to sleep. Crying and stuff. I remember crying when I was a child. They get staying up late, and we were put to bed. But then my dad went out or something, and I thought, if I keep crying here, my mum's going to let me stay up, or she's going to bring me downstairs because she's sick of listening to me. I vividly remember this. And Tomorrow's World was on, which is almost like if you watch, there's a show on BBC News or something. It's called Click or Rewind or something like that, and it's all about like tech and all this like stuff that's coming out in the future. And I fully remember crying in bed, screaming to my mum, going, please, can we just come down and watch Tomorrow's World? Didn't even like it. Had no interest in it. It just gave me something to do, I think, because I wasn't tired. And I cried that long. My mum was like, get down here and watch it, but you're going to bed straight after. And I was like, thanks, mum. Fucking snots round my mouth and stuff. Shit myself. I was probably 7 years old. And I just got staying up then, because when you're a kid, all you want to do is just stay up, no matter what. And then you move out of the family home and you're just like, oh yeah, I can stay up to whatever time I like. And then you're like, but then I have work in the morning at 6 o'clock, so you have to go to bed at like 7 or 8. And then you get to the point where you get older and you have kids, and your kids are like, Daddy, please, can I stay up, please? 10 more minutes on my phone, please. Let me watch TikTok, please. And I just want to fucking fall asleep from 8 o'clock at night. It's brutal, isn't it? You were listening to that going, there better be a good funny payoff at the end of this. There fully wasn't. None of this was thought out. I'm just winging it, guys. That's all I can do. It's raw vodka. I give fuck Monday afternoon. I give shit. River Rock. That's what it is. River Rock. Do you ever see people acting drunk in movies and TV shows, most of them are horrible, aren't they? Do you know what I find as well? It's impossible for someone to vomit realistically on TV or in film. Fully impossible. You see people and they're like, it's just a wee bit of spit that they've had in their mouth for the past 15 minutes. A wee thing like that. I would see if anyone ever hires me, or if I ever end up on a TV show, if someone ever books me for something, or if I get an audition and I fucking nail it and somebody wants to offer me the part, see if there's a vomit scene, right? I am fully... I watched a video one time and these lads took these tablets, I think it was, or they drank something, and it makes you vomit within like 20 seconds, and I mean ferociously vomit. Like, see, even if your medical safety team or whatever don't allow that, I'm telling no one. I'm coming to work and I'm popping one of those pills or taking whatever that drink was, and I am fully unleashing my guts as soon as somebody says action. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm fully doing. I will invest in the role. You see people like Daniel Day-Lewis and stuff, and he's like, where's he from? We're gonna have to Google this here. I don't want to do the wrong accent now. And jokes, Daniel Day-Lewis, for all I know, could be watching this, and he'll be like, Sean, that's not my accent. Okay, so he's English. That's not him. Oh, he's got dual British and Irish citizenship. There's a picture of him playing Abraham Lincoln. There you go. He probably fucking spoke to people in time travel machines and was on a Ouija board trying to contact the man himself from years ago in preparation for his role. Everyone knows someone who talks almost like that there, don't they? Where they're like, I've come over from England, but it was like 10 or 20 years ago, and now I'm like sort of like having a bit of both of the accents. Alright, mate, how you getting on? I'm very well, thanks. Everyone knows someone who talks like that. So Daniel Day-Lewis, he's like starving himself for roles. He's, excuse the pun, starving himself for roles. What? Subway joke? Huh? Wee foot long? I don't even know what my fucking point was. That's how fucking tired I am. What was my point? That's everyone says this who's listening. They're like, what was my point in downloading this fucking cake? What's going on with him? He's getting closer to a breakdown every single week. Get your head together, my friend. Take notes in your podcast. I don't know if I could ever do a live episode of this podcast. It would just be a farce. It would just... I'd be like, how's it going, everyone? So I should have, instead of booking this live podcast, should have just booked a hotel and went to sleep for 2 hours and just pretended that I was doing this podcast. And I'm sorry, I've had no time to prepare anything at all. So what do you want to talk about? Any questions? It's every person that has ever owned a podcast. About to record a podcast. Any questions? I have a question, Marcus. Who'd win a fight? Hulk Hogan or your ma drugged up on testosterone? The worst. Still waiting on the rain coming down, but it's not coming down. But I'm sure there was a point in what I was talking about. I'm sure there is. Do you know what? I'll have to edit this and watch this back, and if there was a point, I'll try and remember it, and I'll tell you next week. Do you know what I watched last night, though? I started ages ago talking about the cabin, and I was gonna, we were talking about the caravan and stuff, and we bought the caravan. We'll get there eventually. We slept in it 4 different times over the space of about 2 or 3 weeks, and our daughter just would not settle. She just wouldn't sleep. She was up 3 or 4 times a night. The first night we were there, it was freezing cold. The other nights it was fine, but the bed was uncomfortable. She was propped up on like cushions stacked up to maybe the height of the bed, and then she had like her sleepy head on top of that. But we just got to the point. Do you know what I did as well? I contacted someone on Facebook, right, who was selling pallets. I went and got a £1 per plank. Let's just call them planks. There's a proper word for it, isn't it? Like a slab or something like that. But so I bought like 15 or something, or 20. And I came home and I got the measurements before we left the caravan of this space, this like tiny area at the side of the bed in the caravan beside the double bed. And I came home, got the measurements, got pallet wood, and constructed uh like a cot, almost like a small cot. Like I made one from pallet wood, and I was so proud of it. I got foam that we already had in our attic. I got foam that was probably like this thick, which is probably about 2 or 3 inches if you're listening, and put the foam over the top of it. Went into my town centre, my local town centre, and got some fabric as well. There's fabric with like little ducks and stuff on it, and fucking used a big like kind of industrial stapler and stuff that we have, stapled it all, made it look absolutely perfect. Got it down, slotted it in, fitted perfectly. She had a decent night's sleep, and we decided that this just isn't right for us, and we wanted to sell it. So we had a whole fucking nightmare week or two trying to get it sold. There's a bit of back and forth with the owners of the caravan site, being like, you've just took the place over. We had to go through the rules like with a fine tooth comb and try and sort of figure out what we were entitled to and what we weren't entitled to. So we figured it out in the end. We got a buyer to take it. We got it sold. But we had pumped in maybe 1,500 quid of brand new stuff that we had bought to kit this caravan out, because it was like 13 years old, but we updated it in terms of like cosmetically, interiorly, and we put loads of new shit and stuff in it. And after 5 or 6 carloads of carting it all, it was like an hour and a half journey away from our house. After an hour and a half journeys back and forth, like an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back, filling the car up. We filled the car up maybe 5 or 6 times over the space of about 10 days. Finally got everything moved in. Stayed 2 or 3 nights after, we stayed 1 or 2 nights in, like, bringing stuff up and whatever. And then it was like all of a sudden, now we have to bring all this shit back home again. So we just dumped loads of stuff. We brought loads of stuff home, and we had loads of things for the attic. And I was like, do you know what? The cabin's sitting out there. It's quite vacant at the minute. I'm going to do it up again. So that's what I did. So I brought loads of stuff out here, and I've got like a brand new rug and stuff out here. It's really sort of thick and comfy. I've got a TV wall mounted out here now, with the internet running into a Fire Stick. I've got a lovely brand new big coffee table. I've got loads of like candles and stuff, and it's so like sort of luxurious feeling now, and it's great to come out here and just kind of relax. And one of the reasons why I took on my office space as well. I took an office on about 2.5 months ago when my daughter was about 2 or 3 weeks old, and I took it on, and I was like, I can't do the podcast out in the cabin anymore because it's bitter cold, and I'm coming out here freezing. And now the place is class. I would easily record every week's podcast back in here for the next 2 or 3 months, because it is 18 degrees out here at the minute. It's lovely and toasty. I've got a little fire on, but just the kind of light fixture part of it that's kind of like just sort of a fire kind of movement, and it's lovely. So the past week has just been pandemonium. We also have like a touring caravan out our front that we're selling at the minute, and I had to gut all that yesterday as well. So we've just went from every day this past week from our hallway just being stuffed of all the shit that we were bringing to the caravan, and then bringing home from the caravan, and then all the new stuff we brought it up, and then all the new stuff had to come back as well. And then once we got all it cleared, we got it all mostly put in the attic and scattered around the home. And then I had to fucking clear the touring caravan as well, because we're going to sell it. So just the past week has just been just our house being head to toe filled with shite, and we must have 30 pillows now, 30 fucking bedclothes and sleeping bags and just all kinds of everything. And we're just busted, on top of trying to look after our daughter, who is still quite sick and is having bad days, and we have to go and get her injections in the next sort of like half an hour. So I have to wrap this up pretty soon as well. But Yeah, it's nice coming out here at night now, having a wee sort of bowl of cereal, having a wee hot chocolate, and just sort of lying up and just being like, "This is class. I built this. This is this is really lovely." And I put a bit of work into it during the week as well, where I went outside, and there was a lot of kind of, because the slats, will we call them this time, instead of planks, they're like kind of like this on top of each other. But after a while, they kind of warp with the heat, so this kind of separate a little bit. So if you look sort of down the wall, there's like little gaps and stuff like this, and gaps that sort of are the whole way across. So I've had to spend all week trying to sort of repair loads of them and stuff too, because now that I have electricals, like a TV and everything in here as well, I don't want stuff getting wet. But since I built it, it's been grand, and long may it continue, because I fucking love it. I love coming out here. I was flicking through YouTube. Joe, the way like recommended videos and stuff come up last night, and there was a video of the Backstreet Boys rehearsing for what must be another reunion or a comeback tour or whatever it is, and it is scary how old these lads are. 'Cause I want it that way. There was four of them. I'm going to sound like a root here because I know their names, but Brian wasn't there. Brian, who was Joe, the wee dimply guy with the phenomenal voice. He must be pursuing other objects, pursuing other opportunities, and he isn't part of Backstreet Boys anymore. And the four of them were just rehearsing in one of their fucking living rooms or lounges or something, and it was quite sad. It was quite sad. Four hugely talented lads, but I think what I realized last night is it's one thing being famous, it's one thing being popular, it's another thing being a celebrity, having loads of money. But I think what everyone clings on to or wants to cling on to throughout a career in all of our industries, in the media or whatever you want to call it, or entertainment, is relevance. That's the main thing. That's what a lot of people cling on to. That's why when we had that '90s reunion show, remember, was it ITV2, like the big reunion, I think it was called, and all these pop groups all reformed because half of them now have no teeth. They're overweight. They've 7 kids to 4 different women. They haven't worked in 10, 15 years, and like I had. I'll call it minor fame, right? Like fame on a really, really small level, just from everything that I've done over the years, and mostly from like the Rodney character, which was very successful for me, and having had a glimpse of what it's like being famous. Like I'm talking putting on Snapchat that you're going to be somewhere signing autographs or selling merchandise in an hour's time, and you get there and there's 40 or 50 people. It's it's scary after a while, and even today I feel like, with the success of the Decky videos and everything else that I've done as well, and with my wife being hugely popular too, and being on TV quite a lot, you kind of feel like you're being watched all the time, and it's not nice. It's not nice at all. It's nice. See when people approach you, right? See whether I'm with my family, see if I'm with my family. Don't feel like you can't approach me, right? Fucking 100 times more approach me than when I'm on my own. I'm on my own and somebody's all, here man, can I get a photo? Fucking your videos are brilliant. I love them. They're hilarious. Keep up the good work. Let me know when you're doing a live show. I'll come and see you. All this here stuff. And I'm like, any of my family here to see me get a bit of recognition? No, nobody. It's always people approach me when I'm on my own. Fucking approach me when I'm with my kids and tell me that you're my biggest fan and you love everything I do, and my kids should be so proud of me, and say stuff like that. Just really, really fucking just yank it up a lot. Just be like, oh man, sign my tits, sign my tits. That'd be class. But watching the Backstreet Boys rehearsing, pot bellies, grey hair, big beards, and you're just like, what do you do? What do you do? Because many, many, many times as well, I've thought throughout my career of going back into everyday work, 9 to 5, whatever you want to call it. But it's next to impossible when you've been in an industry like ours for so long, because you you feel like you don't fit in. You feel like you're doing something different, not better by any shape or form. Every fucking job is every job makes the world go round, and I have so much respect for people that do jobs in every field. But for you to sort of rejoin that, it's like, no, I'm programmed differently. And it's almost like when I used to work in a nursing home for disabled adults, and people are like, oh, I don't know how you can do that. It's just, I don't know how you can do that. That's how I feel about 9 to 5 work. I'm like, oh, I don't know how you can do that. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean what I do is bad. Doesn't mean what I do or you do is good. It's just people are programmed differently. And I just don't know how I could put myself back in that environment working for someone else now that I've worked for myself for so long. And I think what everyone is kind of working towards too is like, you want to be popular, you want to be the guy with all the hits and all the views and everything. But there's going to come a time when the next wave of people come along and Facebook and Twitter and whatever goes away, and there's going to be all these new things like TikTok. Like I went on TikTok one time at the start of the first pandemic, the start of the first lockdown. There's only been one pandemic in our lifetime. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to record a video. I don't even know how to press record. I don't know what to do here. And rather than teach myself, I'm like, I don't have time for this shit. This is the next generation app, and I don't want to be part of it. Same with Snapchat too. Snapchat sort of died out for me after a while. I was like, I just have no interest in putting shit up on Snapchat anymore. And that's where it's going. And you're going to get to the point where 20 years are going to pass, and it's going to be, is that the fella who did he do a couple of videos or something? What did he do? Was he Frostbite Boy? Who is that? Who he? And that's it. And you're going to be like, why am I no longer relevant? And it's going to be sad. It is. It's going to be sad. And I felt really sad watching the Backstreet Boys last night going, yous lads had women throwing their ditties at yous. Literally, have my knickers. They're worn. I've just tucked them off in the middle of a 20,000 strong audience. Have my knickers. You could frame me and put my DNA on anything you want in the world, and I will be jailed for life. But I'm willing to take that risk for you to get a sniff of my junk and possibly invite me up on stage to come back to your hotel room and get freaky. And now they're just like 4 lads in a basement being all like, tell me why. Why won't you get my slippers? Tell me why. Why do you clean my backside? Tell me why. I never want to leave the house, 'cause I'm geriatric. 'Cause I'm geriatric. Guys, you've been listening to the Comedy Cabin. I'm Sean Hegarty. If you enjoy what I do for some strange reason, you can send me a few quid, which pays for the upkeep of my cabin and some of the things that I do on social media, and obviously my time in creating this and all my work and stuff too. You can go to www.ko-fi.com/hegpod. It's absolutely no obligation. There's no monthly contract. There's no nothing. It's literally just you going, oh, is that his PayPal address? Shitting. Have 3 quid. Boom. Have a fiver. Have 12 quid. Blink, blink. Have 26 quid, which is the ticket for the Backstreet Boys in the SSE Arena, November 2022. Get your tickets this Saturday from 10 on Ticketmaster. That's not true. I don't know when they're going to be on. But cheers for your ears. A lot of people don't agree with this, but come on, England, fucking win the Euros. That would be amazing. I would love that. They're the best England team since the 66 World Cup winning team. There, I said it. You've got your Linekers, you've got your Gazes / Gascoignes, you've got your fucking, who have you got? Tony Adams, David Seaman, you've had your Beckhams, you've had your Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard. It's coming home. I fully believe it's coming home. Their next 2 games are at home at Wembley Stadium. If they get past the semi-final at Wembley, they play the final in Wembley. It is on a plate, lads. Go and win it because you deserve it. You have some of the best fucking players in the world, and they're not celebrities. They're not prima donnas. They're not egotistical. They're just fucking brilliant footballers. Grealish, Foden, Sancho, Phillips, Saka, Henderson, Pickford and Nets. What the fuck? 5 clean sheets? No one's ever done that. 5 clean sheets in a row at the Euros. What the fuck? Shit. Unbelievable. So football's coming home. Up a hoods. I've been Sean Hegarty. This is the Comedy Cabin. Fingers crossed we're all back here next week. Cheers for your ears. Take her handy, Jerry. Up a hoods. Fuck yeah.